Welcome back, first grade. I know you're excited to be back in school. So am I. Today we are going to be reading a story. It is called The Girl Who Never Made Mistakes. This story is written by Mark Pett and Gary Rubenstein and illustrated also by Mark Pett. So this week we've been learning about the author's message. So that person that wrote the book, Mark Pett, what did he want you to learn while you read this story? Let's find out. Let's first take a look at what we see on the cover. I see a girl. I know the title is The Girl Who Never Made Mistakes, so maybe that's her. I see her juggling. Let's see what this story is about, and let's see what the author might want us to learn from this story. For Beatrice Bottomwell, Friday began like any other day. She matched her socks, and of course she put her shoes on the proper feet. She remembered to feed her hamster, Hubert, his favorite food, broccoli, and when she made a sandwich for her brother Carl, she used exactly the same amount of peanut butter and the same amount of jelly. So it sounds to me like Beatrice likes to do things the right way all the time. When she stepped outside to greet her fans, she didn't forget to say good morning and thank you. They asked if she made her bed, and she had. They asked if she forgot to do her math homework. No way. What about tonight's talent show? They asked. I'm ready, said Beatrice with a smile. After all, her juggling act had won 3 years in a row. Does Beatrice really have all of these fans outside her house every day asking her if she did all of her chores to perfection? Maybe she's just imagining that. Most people in town didn't even know Beatrice's name. They just called her the girl who never made mistakes, because for as long as anyone could remember, she never did. Unlike Beatrice, Carl, her little brother, made lots of mistakes. He ate his crayons, drew with his green beans, and danced with his hands and played piano with his feet. Carl loved to make mistakes. At school, Beatrice was on a cooking team with her two best friends, Millie and Sarah. To make their giant muffins, they needed 4 eggs. Beatrice went to the refrigerator and carefully chose the biggest, eggiest egg she could find, the most perfect eggs. But on the way back, her legs slipped out from under her, and the eggs went flying. Beatrice was about to make her first mistake. How do you think Beatrice feels making her first mistake? But she didn't! That was close, thought Beatrice. Here she caught all the eggs. For the rest of the school day, Beatrice could not stop thinking about that almost mistake. Looks like it's ruining her day. It's ruining her day on the swings, and in class she's not participating. She looks really sad, and she didn't even make a mistake. On her way home from school, Beatrice watched Millie and Sarah ice skating in the park. Come join us, said Millie. It's fun, said Sarah. Beatrice watched them slip and slide on the frozen pond, and Millie and Sarah laughed as they wobbled on the ice. No thanks, said Beatrice. Why wouldn't she want to go play on the ice? Yeah, I think she's worried she's going to make a mistake, but she's so worried about making a mistake on the ice, she's not having fun with Millie and Sarah, her friends. At supper, Beatrice barely touched her food. Is everything all right? Asked her father. I'm worried I'll mess up tonight at the talent show and everyone will be watching, said Beatrice. Worry? You don't make mistakes, he said with a smile. Beatrice tried to smile too. She probably remembered her almost mistake earlier. After supper, Beatrice got ready for the talent show. First, she woke her hamster up from his nap. Next, she got the salt shaker from the kitchen table. And finally, she filled a water balloon with water. and the school auditorium was packed. Beatrice felt her stomach jumping around inside of her. What does it mean when your stomach is jumping around inside of you? Yeah, she's nervous. Here she is getting all her stuff to juggle with. Have you ever juggled before? It's really hard. Beatrice waited for her juggling music to begin. That's her! That's the girl who never makes mistakes, said a woman. Oh, we know she'll be perfect, said a man. When the music started, she tossed her hamster in the air. Next, she added the salt shaker and finally the water balloon. Here they are. Beatrice didn't miss a beat. The crowd clapped with delight, but Beatrice noticed something about the salt shaker. The specks falling out were not white. What were they? Achoo! Hubert, her hamster, was so surprised by his sneeze that he grabbed the water balloon with his claws. Kablooey! It burst open. Hubert, pieces of water balloon and the pepper rained down on Beatrice, and the first time in a long time, as anyone could remember, Beatrice made a mistake, and it was a big one. Was it really her fault, though? Sneezes happen. The music stopped, and Beatrice didn't know what to do. Cry? Run off the stage? The crowd was stunned. They couldn't believe that the girl who never made mistakes just made a mistake. Beatrice looked up at her hamster. He looked back down at her. His hamster fur was soaked and speckled with bits of balloon, and Beatrice let out a giggle. The giggle grew into a chuckle, and the chuckle became a laugh, and the people in the crowd looked at each other and then back at Beatrice, and they began to laugh too. And Beatrice and the audience laughed until they couldn't remember why they were laughing. So Beatrice made a mistake and everything was okay. That night, Beatrice slept better than she ever had. In the morning, no fans greeted Beatrice, and when she got dressed, Beatrice, for no reason at all, put on polka dot sock on one foot and a plaid sock on the other. Beatrice and Carl made sandwiches, and this time they put the peanut butter and jelly on the outside. They called it Inside Out PB&J. Lunch was messy and delicious. Beatrice is changing. Later, Beatrice found Millie and Sarah skating in the park. They fell a lot and had a lot of fun and laughed. Now people no longer called her the girl who never makes mistakes. They just call her Beatrice. She seems a lot happier too, not trying to be so perfect all the time. So the girl who never made mistakes, what lesson does the author try and teach us by writing this story for us? Think about it. What did you learn? What's he trying to tell us through Beatrice? What do we learn? Talk about it with your class.